It was not so much the work itself, how was the image to be seen, but mostly the why, and everything up to that moment which led to its composition. To delineate the point where content becomes none, where every mark points to the birth of its meaning, and where every birth marks a slow return to ashes. The trepidation in every instance, brush against canvas, chisel on wood, camera to eye. Were it not for my wanting to bleed through other wanderings of the waning lyricism between image, object, architecture, and words, and yet it is still wanting. For whom? 8 years ago, a boy sat under a tree behind an art room. The frame of his body hung heavy from the drive to make the complex image, the complete image. He promised himself that one day he'd return to something simpler. A picture of him under that tree, perhaps. A place that was there and then, and then. The curtains draw. The spotlight on a volley of theatrical words dancing within the graces of precarious, pretentious. After the soliloquy of eloquent esotericism, enter backstage. A long walk, a long take, a long shot of the longed for longing that once echoed, now only a reserved listener to the static that lay restlessly in the gap between the dry wall and the concrete floor. If there was a graveyard with a sea of images for every image that passed through a gallery, would every maker find peace in the passing of every work? To where? To what end? For whom? The spectacle becomes another stage. The image becomes a backdrop. And we are left blind in the folly of our own assumed invisibility of every performative gesture. More recently, perhaps then it was the voice that wondered. Hasn't everyone seen enough images about the image? Or was there any good in making work about making work? It turned to the boy and asked him the same question, to which he smiled and questioned in return. Can you help but hum to the tune of every songwriter who questions the need for another song in this world? 4 a.m. conversations between the musty shutters. The unspoken fear of an ignorant naivete seeped deep into our weathered paintbrush marks. You reminded me that I had told you this was a fight, that with each dab and stroke, we were still fighting for something. 8 years ago, a boy sat under a tree behind an art room. Canvas tightly gnawed, knuckles raw, an even stretch to avoid any warping, a far stretch to call it eventuality. How do you strive to arrive at a place that was never here, that can never be here, an infinite there, a place that was there, and then, and then.
Tell me, enchantment, I said goodbye. I met a girl named Disillusionment. Could you tell her I made the headlines? This boy draws wings on everything. Could you tell me, enchantment, I said goodbye? Could you tell me, enchantment, I said goodbye? Could you tell me, enchantment, I said goodbye?